Hey everybody, it's Dan. Welcome back. I've got a hack for you today. Some kind of an improvement on the Flite Test build process if you're building from plans. It can be a time-consuming process that I'm sure a lot of us would love to be able to skip over and just get out and fly. So hopefully this is helpful. And before I get into it, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor and clicking down in the corner there on the subscribe button, and it'd help me out a lot, and then you'll know what's coming up and when I release new content. So to get started, right, every set of Flite Test plans comes with this tile key, right? It shows you what tiles go together to create your full sheets of plans. And these will be your tiles. If you have worked with this, I apologize for going through this. If you haven't worked with these tiles before, you probably find this informative. But you're going to take these corner tick marks, and you're going to line them up, and then you create your 8-page template, or the tiles, I guess, as it were. We're just going to call them a large tile. So you create these 8-page large tiles. Now in the past, Flite Test released a video where you would take these 8-page tiles and then you would cut all of your pieces out of it, and then they recommended that you take the paper after you've cut everything out. Now let's go back for a second. It does take anywhere from 1 to 3 hours to assemble all of these. Depending on how fast you're working, how clean you want to be with the cuts, what you're trimming, etc. And there's 5 sheets here. I can't remember exactly how long it took me to build the edge, but this took a while. So once you're done with that, Flite Test recommended that you cut all the pieces out individually, you get all the stuff trimmed properly, and then your next job was to take 3M Super 77 adhesive, which is a permanent contact adhesive, and you'd spray that either all over your poster board or on the back of all the parts that you would cut out from these tiled plans that you would put together, and you would stick them on the poster board. Now that counting of those parts for the first time may have taken you 3 hours, and if it took you 3 hours to cut them out of a piece of paper, now that you've put them on the poster board and you got to cut them out again, you're looking at another 3 hours to cut those out. So now we're at 6 hours and you haven't even started building anything yet. Now that you've cut those out a second time and they are on the poster board, you have to find a way to take that template and put it where it'll fit on the sheets of foam board that you've got. And you may or may not be better at putting more on one sheet, but now you're dealing with a third time when you're going to end up cutting out these pieces after you've traced them out on the poster board or tacked them with pins or whatever your preferred method is. And now you're at 9 hours. That's 5, 9 hours. You're at 9 hours and you haven't even begun. You have all your parts ready, so I guess you can start building. And what they make look like an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours sometimes, build process. If you've built one of these before, you know very well that this edge did not take an hour and a half for you to build. Probably not even with the speed build kit. I think I spent 12 hours putting mine together, and that didn't include all of this. So when I built this, though, I did things differently. And I came up with this bright idea that you could just print to cardstock, and it worked great. And I have a stack of cardstock stencils that I use to build my edge with, and they're going to stay there, and I may or may not use them again. I don't know. Having said that, not knowing whether or not I'm going to use them again, and realizing that the amount of ink that's on each of these sheets of paper that you printed out is less than a full sheet of typewritten words, it's really, really inexpensive to just print it on regular printer paper, put them together, and create one 20 by 30 inch tile. Now, if you've worked with a foam board before, you know the foam board is exactly 20 by 30 inches. So when you're done putting these tile sheets together, you have a piece that will fit directly on the foam board. So why cut everything out 3 times? If you don't have to do that, you take the back, you take that tile sheet, you take the back side, and you hit it with this adhesive that was recommended to me. It's called Krylon Easy Tack. I got this at Hobby Lobby for $8.50. You get the 40% off coupon. It's cheap. And it's like having Post-it note adhesive on the back of all your templates, and it lasts. And you can pick it off and put it back down and just move it as many times as you want. But the beautiful part about it is now you can work with your template right on the foam board without any extra cutting, and your 9-hour parts creation process is shrunk down to the 3 hours that you would have spent cutting the parts out the first time. And once you're done, you'll have a stack of parts that look a little like this. I don't know if you're going to be able to read on here any of the writing on that. I can't see it in my little screen, but hopefully you can. This is a nose doubler for the Goblin. I haven't built it yet. I might not. I think I'm just going to go with a different design altogether, because there were some weak spots on this that people have mentioned, and I think I could probably do this a little bit better. It won't be as pretty, but it'll get the job done. In any case, enough rambling. When you're done with this, you've cut your parts out, the last thing you have to do is get your stencil off. So I've already started peeling this over here, but that Easy Tack adhesive, right, now it's flat against the paper. It comes right off of that paper, peels right out, and it doesn't take the paper off of the foam board. And when you're done, you have a, albeit rather curly, stencil that you can then put on another piece of foam board if you need to. And I got this sheet of paper back here just to show that this actually still works. And put that down over there, and say you needed to make another one, so you just put it on there, you smooth it in place. And let's say this, we're going to pretend this is another piece of foam board, but now you can see on the back I have this stencil on there, and all I have to do is cut around it with an X-Acto knife again. I don't have to trace anything or do any of that stuff. I just cut it right out of that piece of foam board, and I've got a new piece, and I'm ready to go. And then when you're done, you peel it off again, and by the time you have a stack of these pieces of paper with their Easy Tack on the back, which makes for super easy removal, as you saw, they'll weigh each other down, and then you just stick them in an envelope like you would any other set of templates. Now, having said that, and having gone over how inexpensive it is to print a whole new set of plans, or just the pages that you need that contain, like you wouldn't print the whole set of plans if all you needed was this fuselage former number 1 here, right? That would be crazy. So you just print that page out, and then you could stick the whole page to foam board, which would be my preferred method, right? Because you can remove it. It's not like you're wasting any of the foam board. You just line it up on an edge where you're going to be able to use it, and you're done. So that's how I save a whole bunch of time in building my Flite Test planes. I hope this has been helpful for you and insightful. I pulled my hair out for, well, eight too many builds. I did 8 builds the long way until I figured this out. And if you're just getting into this, I want to save you a whole lot of time and trouble. I don't know about you. I know personally from my experience, I love to get out there and fly. I want to spend as little time as possible getting the thing together and get it out there and really enjoy the thrill and excitement of flying something through the air. That's what we do this for, right? If it wasn't exciting, we wouldn't be doing this. So once again, I'd like to thank you for dropping in. I hope you got something out of this, and I appreciate all of you very much. Thanks for your time. Be well. Take care.